See, you find something new every day. I just realized that you can upload the thumbnail right on the restream, so I don't have to go to
Wow.
YouTube. It just saves an extra like 30 seconds. I wonder what that does for. I don't think there's a thumbnail on Twitch, so maybe there is. Let's try this out. It's a restream thing on it. No, we're not doing that. Sorry, I was just testing it out. It puts a watermark of restream on there, and I was like, "Oh, we're not diminishing Lambo's good work with a watermark." Oh, hey, Mike. Mike said, "Hey,
Data
okay, hey
gangs
guys."
in.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, hey guys."
I'll pull it up. I'll check the chat.
Make sure I try to have it up. Sometimes I get lost though in the sauce. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, we get started in three, two, and one. That's lying. I had to. I gotta go. Get water real quick. Ah, that's weird. All right, now we're gonna get started in three, two, and one. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing pretty well, Chris. We had a good time at the Wizards game last night. Such a good time. We forgot to take our wise picks at halftime and make a
I'm
little
busy
video.
thinking about our free Chick-fil-A.
Yes, we got some free Chick-fil-A thanks to Zion Williamson. We got to see Trey Young wave to the crowd. That was pretty exciting. He looked. We both noticed he looked a little lively on the bench. It seems like he really is. He's trying to buy into Washington so he can get his 50 million and get out of town. Um, but it was cool. It was nice to see he got some sort of aura to him, some sort of important figure in
Oh
the
yeah,
NBA
he's
at
got
some
some
point. So
juice.
yeah, he's got some juice. Um, so that'd be cool. Official Trey Young review whenever he plays will hopefully come in a couple weeks or so. But he didn't play. He was just a good bench mob though. Um, all right, but what we're here for is NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. I'm mentioning that because I noticed that the Super is gone, Chris. They got rid of the Super.
I also noticed that too.
Was that last year? Did they get rid of the Super? Was I not paying attention to Super Wild Card Weekend last
I
year?
don't remember, to be honest.
Because I remember I kind of missed the Super now. I remember making fun of the Super. I was like, are we gonna have to do the Super forever now? Because this is just how the NFL rule changes are. And I guess the NFL answered my question. They said no, it's not going to be Super forever. Eventually, it'll just be diminished to normal Wild Card Weekend.
The regular wild card weekend.
Yep. And then eventually, when they get greedy enough and we have more playoff teams and um, less buys and everyone's injured still, they'll be back to Super. So yeah, I think Super will come back in another 10 to 15 years. We'll get some Super.
Thanks.
Yeah, they'll bring that one back out. Um, but we have some wise picks to take care of here, Chris. And the board is it's tough. It's a tough week one. There's not a lot of stinker teams. The one stinker team that's really out there has beaten the Los Angeles Rams, which is the Carolina Panthers. And the other stinker team, sneakily, I kind of like them against the Texans. We were chumming about it a little bit last night, but the Steelers,
Yep.
there's some about them that I just wouldn't. I love the Texans defense, and I think that's the issue is that like everybody's loved the Texans against the Steelers. That
There's a lot of juice on the Texans, it feels like.
it's freaking me out. It's
Everyone's
freaking me out.
pulling them in to beat this Steelers team, and it's only a 3-point line like that. I feel like that says something.
Yeah, it does. So let's get right into it. We'll start at the beginning. Um, it starts in about 4 hours, and when you're if you're listening to this live, which not a lot of people are, but that's okay. Um, we have the Rams and at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers hosting a playoff game is one of the funniest things ever. It's a 10-point road favorite by the Rams, and there's a sneaky suspicion that people can think that maybe they can capture the Magic again. It seems like every time that there's a team that's under 500 that wins their division, it seems like they end up winning a playoff game at some point.
Mhm.
So how do you feel about this 10-point spread? The Rams, people talk about them as they could be the best team in the NFL. They had a wonky end of their regular season that really diminished the beginning of their regular season, and they didn't get the 1 seed. They didn't win the division. They might have the MVP. They have the best 2 wide receivers in the league. They have one of the best offenses in the league. Their defense is great. Can the Panthers do it again?
I would be pretty floored if they get upset. Like this is not a normal 5 seed. This is kind of the worst case scenario for a team like the Panthers to see the Rams coming into town. I do think 10 points is a lot for a home playoff game, though. So there's part of me that does like Carolina, but I also would not be surprised if this is a 35-10 steamroll by the Rams.
The Panthers got up early in that game. They got a pick six in the first quarter. They had 2 interceptions in the
Mhm.
first quarter, right? I think it was 2 in the first quarter. Um,
Yeah.
it was Stafford's worst game of the season. They couldn't get Puka or Devontae Adams going, which is the crazy part. Devontae Adams did have 2 touchdowns, but they couldn't really get him going yards wise. And the defense played pretty well, but Bryce Young played perfect in that first game. I mean, he had missed 5 passes, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The running game was they had 35 carries between their running backs in that game, which is I think is going to have to be what happens in this game if they want to win. I think it's going to have to be a lot of Chuba Hubbard, a lot of Rico Dowdle, um, just protecting Bryce at every moment, making sure that he doesn't have his government mandated interception. And there's there's a world where, of course, they've done it before. They're the nobody believes in them team, I think, more than the Steelers are. And there's a world where they can keep it close. And that I think the 10.5 points is a lot. But when you go to bet it, you go to look at the bet slip and you're like, man, Panthers could I mean, they could backdoor cover, but they could also they could be losing by 14 immediately. And it's like my 10.5 is just hoping and praying that there's some garbage time points. Um, So I think it's actually going to be an interesting game. I don't think 10.5. I think 10.5 is pretty big. Um, I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to put a wise pick on it, but I do like the Panthers here. I want to see them keep it close. I hate whenever this team sucks, they shouldn't make it, and then they do suck. And it's
Mhm.
like, well, this is like, and there's like arguments like about the Falcons or the Bucks, where both those teams suck too,
Well, at
and they
least it's
both
not college
lose.
football.
Say again.
I said at least it's not like college football.
Yes, that is
Like there's
true.
no debate. They just get in by
Yes.
rule. It's not like
Yeah, that's true. It's
Notre
all
Dame.
numbers.
Like, oh well, like Texas A&M wasn't even that good. It's like, all right, guys.
The over under is 45.5. It ended well over last time.
Oh
Ended at
yeah.
59. So, and if you think the Rams are going to win by 10.5, you should also pick the over, right? Unless is
It's
that
true
you're
too.
just thinking that the Panthers just really aren't going to score at all.
I mean, if it's 35-10, the score that I just kind of threw out there, that would be under. But
That's true.
like the
You'd
Rams
miss it
defense
by
isn't
half a point. Say again.
I said the Rams defense isn't dominant.
No, you can throw on the Rams defense. They have the wide receivers to throw on them too. They have the tallest wide receivers. That was really one of the main takeaways from that game in the regular season is that all three of their tall wide receivers in Coker, McMillan, and Xavier Legette, they all are great matchups against the cornerbacks for the
Mhm.
Rams, who are all shorter and or Emmanuel Forbes. And if they can pick apart on him and pick apart on that secondary, that's the only way that they're going to be able to
Mhm.
that and a balanced run game are the ways that they're going to win this game. And it does feel like one or the other is going to fail, right? For this Panthers team, it's like they're either going to be able to pass the ball on them or they're going to be able to run the ball on them. And there's the odds that they both happen again in a perfect scenario seem seem a little low.
Yeah, agreed. It could be rainy. It's gonna be windy
Perfect
for the
time for a
football
flea flicker for the Panthers.
team.
None of that stupid shit, Panthers. Come on, just go and win the
No.
game. None of that dumb shit. Um, the it should be, and I do feel like the Panther or the Rams. I mean, talk about extra motivation going in when you don't deserve the extra motivation. Like you are already the 10-point favorites. You're already this team is 7-9 or seven and what are they? 8-6, 8-9. Yeah. Um, you have probably the MVP, so it's like they don't need the extra motivation, but the extra motivation would be, hey, these guys beat us. There's some jamokes out there that think that they can beat us again. Um, so I think
Well,
the
it's like
Rams will take care of business.
not getting the one seed, not winning their division, and like being stuck in this wild card situation. It's like, all right, well, if we have to go on the road and win a playoff game, like we're gonna put it down on them.
Yeah. Yes. Completely agree. Um, it should be a good game though. I want to see something out of the Panthers here. It's exciting that they're in the back in
Yeah,
the playoffs.
yeah, certainly.
All right, the night game. We're getting Hal Michaels for this game, which people aren't happy about. He also announced that he will be doing Thursday Night Football again next year. Look, they're never going to tell him to retire. He did the Miracle on Ice all that time ago. You
Yeah.
don't fire that guy, and he's gonna be in a casket out there calling Broncos Raiders at some point um, during the next year or Jaguars and Titans, which we need a Jaguars Titans Thursday game. I mean, it's been way too long since we've had a
How are they not
Jaguars
giving us
Titans.
that?
I don't
Doesn't
know,
make any sense.
but um, long story short, yeah, he's an old man that they won't fire. The Bears are back to plus 1.5. Feels like they've been flipping all week, whether it's been the Bears or the Packers. You said right before we started recording, 75% of the money is on the Chicago Bears.
Yep,
That
that's
scares me.
underdogs.
I don't like it. I want to take the Bears very badly. I had it written down last night when we were gonna do it at the game. And I was gonna announce that I was gonna pick them. And I'm gonna wait until the end to pick all of mine, but I am what am it's there's such a close game. It went to overtime last time. The last team that the Bears beat were the Packers. The last team that the Packers beat were the Bears. It's in Chicago. It's gonna be cold. I really don't know how to feel. I really don't know how to feel about this game. Chris.
I'm taking the Packers.
That you're taking it as a wise pick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of the bigger Bears haters, but like this team has been winning lucky games all year.
Hmm.
I think getting the playoffs, that's kind of where. I mean, I guess it's my team is a bad example of that last year because they did win 2 playoff games, but eventually it catches up to you, and I think this is when it happens. Like if you think about that last game, they were down 10 points with 3 minutes left. Still couldn't get in the end zone until Romeo Dobbs muffs the onside kick.
Yep, that's
So
true.
like they had that game was lost. Um, so I think it's a similar type game as that second battle between the two, and I like Green Bay.
I think that's the issue that I keep coming towards is that they, they yes, they've won a lot of games that they shouldn't have won, but they've they've won those games. And even like last week in week 18, they were down, it was what, 16 to 3 or something like that, and then they come crawling back. It's all of a sudden it's 16-16. They don't end up winning the game, but it was a little too little too late. But even in that scenario, it's like it could be the fourth quarter, there could be 7 minutes left, they could be down by a touchdown, and I'm gonna be like, they've done this before. Even if the Packers have the ball, they have the DNA to come back in these games, and
Right.
it just kind of it just kind of scares me here with this Bears team. If
Yeah,
you're a
that's
Packers
fair.
fan, but they've had an incredible season. When you look at all these games, it seems like every single one is a one-score game that they've won, and that's another thing that would scare me, where it's like you're playing with a coin flip basically. If
Yeah.
this team's gonna come and clutch up, or if this team's just gonna get they're gonna end up losing it. They're gonna be in the losing side of this coin flip. I like the offense. I like the run game. I think the run game is gonna be very important for this game. Um, they kind of figured that out in the second game and towards the second half of the first game. And that's the other issue that I have, is like they can look so good in one half and look so bad in the first half, like they did in the first Packers game. They look like two completely different teams, and then all of a sudden they have a chance at the last minute to score and tie up the game. I think that's why the line is 1.5. They didn't even put it in. I'm surprised they didn't put it in a Vegas zone. I guess they wouldn't know which team to put the Vegas zone into, but it is
I mean, a pick'em is basically a Vegas Sin game.
they're what?
I said a pick'em is basically a Vegas Sin game.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true, because then it just turns into money line. So,
Mhm.
um, man, I just don't know. I've never really liked Jordan Love in the playoffs. Feels like their team's getting injured more and more. I like the style that Ben Johnson's been playing with. I like the fire. And ever since last year, it feels like these rookies can come in and make some noise because of your guy Jane Daniels. So it's like I don't want to take all guys who have never won a playoff game as my wise picks, but
Yeah, that's
um
I get that. Hey, Jordan
no, and
Love in
there's
the playoffs 2 years ago, we were saying was like a top 5 quarterback.
in the playoffs.
That Cowboys game, and then for most of the Niners game, then he threw a terrible interception.
See, and like, is that what he's gonna do? Is he gonna play really well for 3.5 quarters and then throw a back-breaking interception to get the Bears right back into this game? Or
That
is there
does seem
run?
like a very possible script.
Yeah, and they could also have like the weird Packers moment where it's like all of a sudden their offense can't complete a pass for like 3 drives, and and then the last drive they look like they're Brett Favre again. So it's weird. They're both these teams are very weird. I think I'm talking myself into staying away from it. Um,
That's fair.
but I'd
You
have
gotta
to
make a
take
pick at
another
some
pick.
point.
Huh?
You gotta make a pick at some point.
Yes, I know. I'd have to make another pick. Um, I'm gonna take a pause on these ones. I have 2 picks. One of them is a part of this Buffalo Bills Jacksonville Jaguar game, and that is on Sunday, 1 o'clock. The Well, first of all, over under for Packers Bears is 44.5. Mm, that's intriguing, honestly. That's an intriguing over, but they didn't hit it last time, and it was a sloppy game at Soldier Field in December. Um, anyways, Bills Jaguars. The Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars are plus 1.5 favorites. The over under is 52.5. Apparently, the Jaguars have not won a game where the over under is over 49. So that's strange. They've scored more than 49
How
points,
many
but
games
that's the
have
over.
they been?
Um, that's a good question.
Like
That's
that's a
a
pretty high total.
Yes, it is.
And they
And I
only
don't
have
think I was going
4
to say it
losses.
might have not have been a lot of
Oh,
um might not have been a lot of games. Um, so I'm taking the Jags. Talk
so
about nobody
okay.
believes in us. They've basically emphasized that nobody believes in us themselves. They did it right before the Broncos game. They posted this whole video about all these guys who were like, "Oh, the Jags, like, wow, I don't know anything. I don't know what to think about the Jags. Like, they think they're bad and stuff." And
That was
They could have added
Playing that
Chris into
video.
the video. Yeah, I was gonna say they could have added Chris in the video. Um, I love how this Jacksonville offense has looked. If Jacksonville has played this way the past 8 weeks, all season, Trevor Lawrence is right there with May and Stafford for the MVP. The stats are
Mhm.
very similar to Drake May. Um, the, ever since they got Jacoby Myers, it feels like their whole offense is completely different. They've it seems like some point during the season that they lost their run game and then it came back. Um, that this team is just very well coached. I think their defense, they haven't let up a 75-yard rusher all season long. They're the only team in the NFL this season to have that. And they're facing James Cook, where it seems like the best way to beat the Buffalo Bills is to limit James Cook.
Oh
And
yeah.
if they can force Josh Allen to have to beat them, it's a scary thing to say because Josh Allen has been very good in the playoffs, but his weapons this year just have not been on the same page as him. They haven't been as explosive as they want him to be. Um, they it seems like they had to go get Brandon Cooks, and that's not a good sign here for going into the playoffs with your wide receiver core when you have to pick up Brandon Cooks. Um, they've been able to blow out teams that are good. Once they came into once they came into Denver and beat the bricks out of Denver, it was in Denver. I was completely sold on this team. They've had some weird games. Lost to the Texans and Davis Mills in that wild game. They kept it to overtime against the Cardinals. Um, so there's teams that have been able to pass on them. Davis Mills was able to pass on them. Jacoby Brissett was able to pass on them. And they I just don't I don't I think they can limit James Cook, and I think Josh Allen is not going to be able to do it himself against this Jacksonville team that's firing on all cylinders.
I want to agree, but I also feel nervous saying Josh Allen can't do it all by himself because he can,
Yes, he can.
and we've said it before. It does worry me how smooth this Jacksonville offense has looked, and we've been doubting the Bills' defense all year.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of like the over in this game, to be honest. It's a big total, but it's fun.
It is a fun game. It's the most exciting game I think of the weekend.
Yeah. All right, put me down for that then. I'm gonna take that. I did say about the Jags that I would believe in them after the Broncos win, so I can't move the goalpost now. There just feels like part of me feels like the Bills have to make a run this year.
I was just
Like
gonna
without
say,
Lamar, it just feels like they have, and I think the Jags are the better team right now. I don't think
mhm,
that's a much of an argument. Um, there's just something in me that has a hard time picking against Josh Allen when those other guys are not in the dance this year.
I was gonna say the thing that worries me the most is after 1 week of the playoffs, are we gonna not have Josh Allen now in this bunch too? We're not
Yeah.
gonna have Burrow. We're not gonna have Lamar. We're not gonna have Mahomes.
And
And now we're not going to have Allen after 1 week. It seems like if there was going to be an NFL rigged, they don't want to have Josh Allen gone already. They probably
right.
want him to face the Patriots. They probably want him to get a chance at the AFC title game. It is that's what scares me the most, honestly. I just think this Jacksonville team though is better. And if we're going to look at if we're going to look at teams objectively in this playoffs, you got to look at the whole team. And
Mhm.
the Jacksonville Jaguars have been playing better than the Buffalo Bills have. I think Buffalo fans would agree. I think Buffalo fans are very nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they wanted the Pats or like I don't know, probably the Steelers or something. But I don't think they're very happy about playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wouldn't be either.
No, how could you be? I mean, they're the hottest team in the league.
Yeah, so
To ask,
I'm gonna
man.
if I lose because I picked the hottest team in the league against the former MVP, I
Right.
guess I guess I won't be too upset. But I wanna yeah, I won't be shocked, but I think that's what I'm riding with. I'm riding with Jacksonville. Um, I feel like this was a if you've listened to the pod all season, you knew this pick was coming from me.
Yeah, definitely. That
Um,
and the Bears over the
yes, the Bears over the Packers too, which I will probably eventually land on and just take them as well. Um, that's what I had at the beginning, so that's probably what I'll end up doing. Let's go to 49ers at Philadelphia Eagles. Over 44 and a half, 5.5 point underdogs for the San Francisco 49ers. It was 3.5 for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the most I've seen a line move like for a playoff game in a while.
This is such a slimy line too. 5.5. That's a terrible line. That's awful.
I see 6, but that's no better.
6, yeah, 6 isn't much better either.
Obviously, it's half a point, but
What
I don't know what
are people just
because
not
it feels like
believing in San Francisco?
I think that after that game the other night,
I know they scored
like
3 points and
everybody's
they're
out.
like it's prime time too. It's against a good team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Philly's defense is almost at Seattle's level.
Yes. I'm sure Eagles fans would argue that they're better. I mean, they're
In more
Eagles fans, but
ways.
yes.
Yeah. Um, and like the Niners really struggle to run the ball, and the Eagles have Saquon. Like the Eagles haven't been able to run the ball that well all season. It does feel like there's not much going for the Niners, though.
They don't have any linebackers. Everyone on their defense is already young. They don't have a pass rush. They're not going to get to Jalen Hurts ever in this game, especially with Lane Johnson being back. They're not even going to come close to touching him. I do think Saquon will have a big game because again, they have no linebackers. They'll just be able to run all over them. I mean, I think they're playing Kaiser White, who's a former Cardinal and like Titan. He got cut like 2 months ago, and nobody picked him up. And I'm pretty sure they signed him last weekend, and he's going to be playing on their playoff linebacking play. So that'll be
Not great.
no, it's not. It's just not a good look. It's the same thing as the Cooks thing I was saying. Like when you have to do that, it's like there's clearly an issue and there's clearly some weakness there. They've had an incredible season just because it felt like this was they had a down year last year, but it felt like this would be like another down year. They're trying to rebuild the defense a little bit. Offense is a little shaky. And I don't is Pearsall playing? It seems like the he's
I think.
questionable. See, if him and Trent Williams aren't playing again, I think everyone's just thinking, how do they not score 3 points? Maybe the
Right.
issue is the game 10-7 at the end of the game? Is that the issue? Is it 13-6? Like is that
Right.
um I hate the over. I'm not falling for any Eagles overs again, even with this Niners team playing. Um
I don't hate the under, honestly.
yeah, minus 44 or under 44 and a half.
There's like a lot of points for a team that just scored 3 and a team that hadn't been able to
That
score all
never
season.
scores more than 3. The yeah, I could see this being like 21-20, 21-17, um, something in that range. So I don't hate the under at all. I think the unders is definitely playable. For all the unders, over unders in this game or in this week, it feels like that one is the most likely one because they juice the Steelers one. They know everyone wants to pick the under in that one. They didn't even make that 40. So yeah, do we have a pick for this one, or should we kind of
I think I'm
semi
gonna
move
do
on?
that. I think I'm gonna take the under.
Okay, I do think the Eagles are going to win though. I think the
I do
under
6.
in the Eagles money line, if you're going to do a little try to get some juice on this, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
All right, Pats Chargers Sunday Night Football. We got to wait all weekend. I'm pretty confident. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we always whoop up on the Chargers. What scares me is the Drake May first start in the playoffs. Uh,
Yeah.
Young team, young defense. We're kind of old defense, kind of just middling defense. And it's a bad D line versus a bad O line, but our run defense has been great all year, so I think that'll help a lot. Our Marion Hampton's already questionable. I don't know if there's any update on that, but I believe he didn't practice yesterday on Friday. So if he doesn't play, I'm very confident in our abilities to beat Justin Herbert. I think we're going to be able to get after him with a couple of our guys. Hopefully, Kavion Chason can step up like he has been all season. Um, Harold Landry, uh, hopefully he plays pretty well. He played better at the beginning of the season than he did in the end of the season. So a lot of the pressure is going to come from our D tackles. Every time I see the Chargers, I just think of how bad their O line is. Like just awful. Like you look at they're going to do the player introductions on Sunday Night Football, and they're going to have the PFF grades on their O line, and pay attention to those PFF grades in O line. They're all 32 out of 32, or 30 out of 32, and 31 out of 32. So they're the worst of the worst for the starting uh, guards and tackles. Um, and that really, if this was any other year, if they had their two tackles, I would be petrified from this scenario.
Yep.
Um, I am fearful about going up against Jim Harbaugh in the playoffs. I've always been a Justin Herbert fan. He has had bad playoff performances so far in his career, but that'll eventually turn around. And they have good wide receivers. I think Ladd McConkey's going to have a good game, no matter what the score is. It feels like those types of guys, like the the smaller white guys that have some mediocre seasons, and then they play the Pats and they just like pop off. We can't cover them whatsoever. Um, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I do think that their passing attack will be good. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, neither of them had an interception this year. I hope that changes in the playoffs. I hope that changes pretty soon in the playoffs. Um, but both those
Might just mean they're
cornerbacks have
not
been playing very
targeted.
good. Say again.
Might just mean they're not targeted enough.
That's what they are. I do believe that that's why that stat is because they're not targeted enough. Um, they're both great
Yeah,
cornerbacks. They
they
both still
played
disrupt the
two
pass.
quarterbacks with pulse.
Did you say because we didn't play any quarterbacks with a pulse? That,
Yeah.
that probably helped too. Um, no, and that's the other thing where it's like the only thing I guess what I'm really nervous about is like once we win the playoff game, the schedule thing can be you can take that and shove it up your ass. Like that's that all gets thrown out the window once you win a playoff game. It basically I needed to cement the season here. We had a good season. You win if I don't think they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know, but people, if we lose in the first round, they'll be like, "Oh, they were frauds all year. Everyone knew they were frauds," and I don't want to listen to that all off season.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
um, hopefully, they can just take care of business. Um, it is annoying that I have the hook, especially because we have won off some field goals, but I am taking
Mhm.
-3.5. The Pats have done me no wrong almost all year. I think they probably didn't cover 2 times when I picked them, and I probably picked them like 9 times, it felt like this year. So I'm riding with my guys. Look, another one, if you listen to the pod, there was no world I wasn't gonna pick this pick. So here we are. Pats -3. Over under 46.5. I don't hate the over. If anyone's looking for a second play here, I don't hate the over.
I don't hate it either. I don't love it though.
The only
I'm
thing
staying away.
the only thing that I think
I
would
do like
affect the over would be the Chargers. They're going from West Coast to East Coast, and really they just can't block whatsoever, and they can't get any
Mhm.
passing yards down. They can't run the football. If that's the case, then I think the under can hit. But
Mhm.
I think the West Coast East Coast thing is important. I think it matters, and especially for a bad O line. But I think that they're going to be able to pass on us, so I don't hate the over.
Yeah.
All right, last game, Monday Night Football, Texans Steelers, over under 37.5. Um, Texans are plus or -3.5 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of the money's got to be on the Texans, you know?
Let's see. I
That's what
would
I'm
think
curious.
so. Not really, actually. It's pretty split.
I guess making them -3.5 at the Steelers probably
Mhm.
dismiss that a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I had this thought yesterday when we were sitting there. I did our pick'em for our high school group, and I picked the Steelers. I don't know why. I was like, if there's any team that's gonna pull out a rabbit out of their ass, it's gonna be the Steelers or the
Yep.
Bears. And
I mean, it's
if the
Aaron Rodgers
Bears
in the
lose,
playoff.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. You're
something.
you're facing a CJ Stroud offense that hasn't looked great all year, but the defense for the Steelers also hasn't looked great all year. It's if they can figure out like if they can start running the ball with Woody Marks and passing him out of the backfield and using Nico Collins to his strengths, like of course this Houston offense can look good. And we've seen them look good at moments. It's just that with the ball, like say it's a tie game in the fourth quarter, I want Rodgers with the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's and it's scary. It's crazy to think that, especially in the year of 2026. Aaron Rodgers is 82 years old. Um, and but he gets DK Metcalf back. It seemed like that mattered a lot in the Ravens game. Um,
Mhm.
my I wonder. I wish we would have seen Metcalf in these last two games so I could have a better view of what this offense would look like. Because what does that Steelers offense look like in the first half of the Ravens game before Kyle Hamilton and Gilman knock each other out with DK Metcalf? Like, are they able to throw the ball and able to move the ball with DK Metcalf there before the injuries come in? Because I don't think the Texans are going to nail themselves in the head, hopefully, and their two best defenders are going to be out. Um, I mean, that's like if Daniil Hunter and what's his name, the guy from Alabama, the one that looks like LeBron's
Anderson.
kid, Anderson. Yeah, if they hit heads and all of a sudden they're both knocked out of the game, that would be equivalent to Kyle Hamilton leaving the game, basically. So
Basically.
um, I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll have to see what DK Metcalf does to this offense
Yeah.
right off the jump. Um, I think I just kind of picked them in our bracket to be bold, to be a little different. I don't think I would put money on it. I don't think I would put money on the over or the under either. Maybe the under, but 37.5. I mean, they're just begging you to take the over. They're begging you.
Yes.
And that would scare me. That would scare me.
Steelers
Just that they were
defense is
begging.
also not good.
No, they aren't good. I mean, we talked about it in the Ravens game. They let up. It was a simple crossing route over the middle of the field from the left side to the right side. The Ravens got that. They got a touchdown on that play three times, three separate times. Um, so that's pretty abysmal. Jalen Ramsey looked like he was lost out there for most of the time. Um, my guy Kyle Duggar in pass coverage was not great. Um, it was it was a weird defense that the Steelers were running. So if they run that shit, they're not going to be able to win this game. But and they're also going up against like they can't even let the fourth and 11 shit happen because the Texans have a great kicker at the end of these games. So if they
Mhm.
if they let it come down to a kick, the Texans would gladly take that. Kamari Fairbairn has been an amazing kicker all year long, and I think he leads the league in scoring. Wow. And he's missed two games this season. So that's how many times they've kicked field goals, which is also a bad sign, I would say, going into a playoff game of how many field goals they've had to kick all year. Um, so I don't know. It's a very like the best unit on this football field will be the Texans defense, and like the ranking chart, it's like Texans defense is up here, and then what's the next best unit? Is it
Actually, great question.
is it the Houston offense? Is the Houston offense the second best unit that's out there? And then slightly under that is the Steelers offense, and then well below that is the Steelers defense.
Now, I think the Steelers offense is better.
I think it can be better, especially with DK Metcalf. It could definitely be better. It's the other guys that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Adam Thielens trying to get open against this Texans defense and the Ben
The backs are
Skoronix. The what?
running backs. Running backs are
Yes, the
good.
running backs are very good. That is true.
And
The
I'm
running
taking
backs,
Rodgers over. Oh,
yeah, yeah. I'm still taking Rodgers over Stroud too, especially in a playoff scenario. All right, so I would put that above with the running backs and everything. I would put that above. So that is but it's right there. It's tight. It's a tight game. Sorry.
bless you.
Thank you. Normally I'm able to mute my mic there, but I was mid sentence. I couldn't do it.
It wasn't loud.
Good, good. All right. Well, I need to make my last pick, but do we want to leave this game with nothing?
Yeah, I'm not having in this one.
Yeah, I think that's the, that's the way to go. Um, to
I don't hate the Steelers.
You don't hate the Steelers either. The Steelers money line would be like it's a fun play. Like at least you'd enjoy
Mhm.
your Monday night a little bit more. You'd have a little juice on the
Maybe
game.
they might look gross. Like, there's definitely a possibility where Houston wins this game, like 17-9.
Mm. Mm.
In which
You still
case,
think
it'll
you
be
still think the Texans
horrible.
could go meet the Broncos and have a 17-9 AFC championship?
I do. I just looked at my bracket after you said something, and I do have them in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I remember you made that proclamation
I
like a couple
did,
weeks
so I felt
ago.
like I had to stick to my guns there as much as I am intrigued by the Steelers.
All right. Well then let's recap this and call it a day. We went 0 for 18 on touchdowns, so I think we're gonna take the touchdowns out of the playoffs. We'll try it again next year, but we'll take it out of the playoffs. We don't need to curse any people not getting touchdowns in the playoffs. Um, all right. Well, I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the Pats, and I might just say F it with the Bears. A little wild card wise bowl.
Yeah, bring it.
All right, let's do a little wild card wise bowl. Um, so you have all your picks in line.
Yep.
All right. To recap, Super Wild Card Weekend, NFL 2025-2026 season. Wise picks. I have my New England Patriots at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Beat LA. Prove that this season wasn't a fluke. Take care of business. They're the 7th seed. Come on, we earned the 2 seed for a reason. We should have a bye week this week, anyways. Um, Bills Jaguars. I have the Jags plus 1.5. Another prove it team. They've been playing the best football out of anybody towards the end of the regular season. Screw the Bills. I don't believe in them. Um, I love Trevor Lawrence. Give me the Jaguars. And then the one I hate the most, but I had to be picked. I've been on a Chicago team all year. I want to see him in the Super Bowl. That's my dream. Is Bears Pats. I know it's your nightmare, but it's my dream.
Literally
Um,
my.
so I have the Chicago Bears plus 1.5 at home. It's going to be a close game, and I think the Bears can do it. I think that they've had the DNA all year to win these close games. So give me the Bears.
Well, you led into it that we're going to do a wise bowl. So I'm taking the Packers as minus 1.5 point favorites on the road. I think the Bears are just waiting to come crashing down.
No, this is a pick.
In the,
This is a pick I lose. Like this Bears pick is a pick I lose. I feel like I always pick the hot hand at the last second. So
yeah, I hope that's not the Jags too.
I hope it's not the Jags either
The
or
Jags
my
have been
Pats.
mauling.
Yes, yes they have. The
Uh,
Jags have been balling teams.
Speaking of the Jags, I'm taking over 51.5 in that game. I know that's a square pick, but I think both these offenses are going to be pretty unstoppable. And
We just
then
want a
I'm
fun
taking
game.
under. That's right. Just give me a fun game.
Yeah,
I'm taking under 44.5 in the Eagles 49ers game because I
I
don't
think that's
think
pretty
either of these.
safe. I think that's pretty safe. Um, all right. So those are our wise picks. Also, I forgot. I mean, we talked about the Jaguars. Um, they beat the healthy Chargers 35-3. Like, Pats can do that. Pats can do that easily. Um, thank you all for listening. Um, Chris, before we leave, you want to talk? Do you know much about David Blau? Do you want to talk about like he was apparently on your staff last year? No,
Yeah, I know a lot about David Blau, so we could save that conversation for
little
later.
off season. Okay, we can wait up then.
Yeah,
All right. Um, all right.
gamble.
I like the gamble though. I think it should be fun. It should be a fun gamble.
I hope so.
Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see. This is supposed to be a 10-minute pod, but oh well, we got 42 minutes out of this.